Most people trying to get out of debt aren't failing because they lack information. They're failing because they chose the wrong strategy for who they actually are. Should you pay off your smallest debts first, or should you attack the ones costing you the most in interest? Get this decision wrong, and you could spend years longer in debt than necessary. Or worse, you could make the mathematically smart choice and still fail because you ran out of motivation 6 months in. Today we're breaking down both strategies completely, showing you real numbers, and by the end you'll know exactly which method actually works best for your situation. Welcome to MindCraft, where ideas become action, and action becomes your future. If you've ever started a debt payoff plan and quietly abandoned it, this one's for you. Hit like, subscribe, and share this with someone who's been carrying debt longer than they should, because the right strategy could change everything for them. And before we dive in, think about this. How many times have you made the smart financial decision on paper, only to watch it fall apart in real life? That gap between knowing and doing is exactly what this video is about. Before we get into the strategies themselves, let's just quickly acknowledge something important. If you're dealing with debt right now, you are not alone. The average American household carries thousands of dollars in debt across multiple accounts: credit cards, student loans, car payments, personal loans. It adds up fast. And the worst thing you can do is have all that debt and no clear plan for attacking it. That's where these two methods come in. Let's start with the debt avalanche, sometimes called debt stacking. The debt avalanche method works like this. You list every single debt you have, from the highest interest rate down to the lowest, completely ignoring the balance amounts. Then you throw every extra dollar you can find at the debt sitting at the top of that list, the one charging you the most interest, while you pay the minimum payment on everything else. Once that highest rate debt is gone, you move all that money to the next one on the list and repeat the process all the way down. Here's a real example to make this click. Imagine you have 4 debts: a credit card with a $20,000 balance at 20% interest, a personal loan at $8,000 at 17%, a student loan at $25,000 at 6%, and a car loan at $5,000 at 4%. Using the avalanche method, you'd ignore the fact that the car loan is small and easy to knock out. You'd ignore the fact that the student loan is massive. You go straight for that credit card because 20% interest is bleeding you dry every single month. Mathematically, the avalanche method wins. Period. You will pay less total interest over time using this approach. If you have the discipline to stick with it, and you're motivated purely by numbers, the avalanche can save you hundreds or even thousands of dollars compared to other methods. Financial calculators will always point you toward the avalanche if your only goal is minimizing total interest paid. But here's the problem, and this is where Dave Ramsey has always made a point that cuts through all the math talk. Dave Ramsey, the host of The Ramsey Show and one of the most recognized names in personal finance, has built his entire Baby Steps program around a very specific idea. He says the problem with debt is not a math problem, it's a behavior problem. If math was the issue, people wouldn't be in debt in the first place. People don't need the most efficient system on paper. They need a system that keeps them emotionally engaged and motivated long enough to actually finish the job. And that's exactly what the Debt Snowball method is designed to do. The Debt Snowball method flips the script entirely. Instead of organising your debts by interest rate, you list them from the smallest balance to the largest balance, completely ignoring the interest rates. You attack the smallest balance with everything you've got while paying minimums on everything else. Once that first small debt is wiped out, you roll that payment into the next smallest debt, and then the next, and then the next. Just like a snowball rolling down a hill, picking up size and momentum as it goes. Let's use the same 4 debts from before, but apply the snowball method this time. You have that car loan at $5,000, the personal loan at $8,000, the credit card at $20,000, and the student loan at $25,000. Using the snowball, you ignore the fact that the car loan only has 4% interest. It's the smallest balance, so it's first. You attack it aggressively. Within a few months, depending on how much you can throw at it, that car loan is gone, done, finished. And here's what happens psychologically in that moment. You get a win. A real tangible win. That debt is no longer on your list. That payment is now freed up to add to the next attack. Ramsey describes this as creating unstoppable momentum, and the research actually supports him on this. Studies in behavioral economics show that people who experience early progress are significantly more likely to follow through on a goal all the way to completion. The quick win isn't just emotional fluff, it's a psychological anchor that keeps you in the game. So which method actually works better? Let's look at this honestly. On paper, the Avalanche saves more money. That is a fact, and nobody should pretend otherwise. If you have two people starting with identical debt situations, and one uses the Avalanche while the other uses the Snowball, the Avalanche person will mathematically pay less interest over time. In some scenarios, that difference could be a few $100s. In other scenarios with high balances and high interest rates, it could be a significant amount more. But here's the reality check. The best debt payoff strategy is the one you actually stick with. Think about how many people start the Avalanche method with good intentions, staring down a massive high-interest credit card balance, paying and paying and paying for months, watching the balance creep down slowly while all their other smaller debts sit there nagging at them. 3 months in, motivation drops. 6 months in, they start missing extra payments. A year in, they've made progress, but not the kind that feels real, and they quietly give up. That theoretical interest savings meant nothing because the plan fell apart. Ramsey's Snowball method is built for humans, not spreadsheets. It accounts for the fact that we are emotional creatures who need to feel momentum, who need to see our list getting shorter, who need to feel like the sacrifice is actually producing results. So let's stop talking theory. Here's what the numbers actually look like when both methods go head to head. Let me give you a clear picture of both methods side by side with realistic numbers. Say you have 3 debts, a medical bill of $1,500 at 0% interest, a credit card with $4,000 at 22% interest, and a personal loan at $12,000 at 9% interest. You have $300 per month to put toward extra debt payments above your minimums. With the Snowball, you blast that medical bill first. At $300 extra a month, it's gone in about 5 months. Now you take that payment and attack the credit card. The credit card takes longer, but you're throwing more money at it now. Eventually it falls, then everything stacks onto the personal loan and finishes it off. With the Avalanche, you'd go after that credit card first, since 22% is the highest rate. That $4,000 balance will take longer to eliminate than the $1,500 medical bill would have. You don't get a quick win. You have to stay mentally engaged and motivated for a longer stretch before you can cross anything off your list. In this example, the Avalanche would save you roughly $500 in interest over the life of the payoff. Not life-changing money, but not nothing either. The real question isn't which method saves more on paper, it's which one you'll still be running 12 months from now. For someone with strong financial discipline, maybe someone who tracks spreadsheets and genuinely enjoys watching numbers optimize, the Avalanche could work beautifully. For most people though, Ramsey's approach resonates because it treats debt payoff like what it actually is. A marathon that requires consistent motivation, not just a mathematical equation. Here's a thought worth sitting with. If you've tried to pay off debt before and you quit, that's not a character flaw. You probably just didn't have enough early wins to keep you going. The Snowball method is specifically designed to solve that problem. There are also some practical situations where one method clearly edges out the other. If you have a very small debt and a very high interest debt of similar size, the difference between the two methods barely exists, and you might as well use the one that gives you the quicker win. If you have enormous balances at dramatically different interest rates, the Avalanche savings become more significant and worth considering. If you're someone with incredible discipline who has successfully stuck to long financial plans before, the Avalanche might genuinely suit your personality. But for most people, most of the time, especially those who have struggled with debt motivation in the past, the Snowball wins on the only metric that ultimately matters. Which one will you actually finish? The last thing worth mentioning is that neither method works without a budget. You cannot throw extra money at debt if you don't know where your money is going. Before you even pick a strategy, you need to look at your income and your expenses and figure out how much you can realistically add to your debt payoff every month. Even an extra $50 or $100 a month makes an enormous difference over time. The strategy matters, but the foundation is always the budget. So here's the bottom line on this entire debate. The Avalanche saves you money mathematically. The Snowball saves you psychologically. And if you look at Dave Ramsey's decades of working with people buried in debt, the psychological edge is what separates the people who get free from the people who stay stuck forever. Pick the method that matches who you actually are, not who you think you should be. Make a list of your debts right now. Commit to a direction. And remember, both methods end in the same place. Debt-free. The only question is which road you'll actually walk all the way to the finish line. The person who gets out of debt isn't always the smartest one in the room. They're the one who picked a plan they could live with and refused to quit. If this video helped clarify things for you, drop a comment below and tell me which method you're going to use and why. I read every single one. And if you want more content like this that breaks down real financial decisions in plain language, hit like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss a video. This is MindCraft, where ideas become action and action becomes your future.